Okay, continuation. What are we doing here at the North Food Plot? At the edge of the North Food Plot, it exits out into the farm fields. So the farm fields being the nighttime food source for the deer. Now, up over here, we've got what we call the clear cut. That's aspen that was clear cut about 10 years ago. So that's really thick. There's always one or two doe groups that hang out in the clear cut area. And then up here to the east, during the rut, you quite frequently have bucks that come from the ridge up this way and work their way down into the food plot. But what the problem is the bucks that work their way down from here and the does that might have bucks with them coming out of the clear cut, they don't come until dark 30. Why? Because there's no screening. Once the leaves are off, these mulberries and these shrubs in the fence line, it's wide open. And they don't feel safe. We also have neighbors that come with egg tags, and they'll sit out in these egg fields and they'll wait. They probably pop a few early season. The deer get smart to that, and that's why they don't come into this food plot till dark. So that makes it really challenging for us to get a shot at them. We do have a tree stand up in that tree there. It's very exposed. Usually the deer don't look up in that, but that's a real far shot from that tree stand to get anything that might be hanging out on the edge over here. So what we're doing is we want to create a screening, and we're going to need screening that long term is trees that grow real tall, because there's a really steep incline going up. So any deer that are in here, they're going to be able to completely see. If we're walking up from below, they're going to be able to see us. If it was just like tall grass, that's not going to do the trick. You got to have trees that go up, probably to about this height to do a proper screening. So that's going to take years and years. So in the meantime, until we can get trees established like that, we're doing a temporary fix. We've planted hybrid willows. So that's the little baby hybrid willow right there, just a couple inches sticking out of the ground. We sprouted the roots in a bucket of water and just with the shovel punched a hole in the ground, and I tightened the soil around the root system. Just a few leaves starting to sprout here. These can grow up to 7 feet in their first year, guys. So up to 7 feet in their first year, it's going to get something going. Now, they're not going to hold leaves very long, but they'll at least create an immediate screening during the growing season. And then the actual woody stems themselves, the boles of the trees, will also help create a screening. So what we've done is we've done 2 rows. And you can see that's baler belt that we have down that we cut holes through. And we put about every 3 to 4 feet, we put a hybrid willow in this baler belt, coming all the way up to where I'm sitting right now. And they're about 6 feet apart. Why do we do them 6 feet apart? So that we can get a mower in between. I actually put some buckwheat in between, just because I want something to grow and control the weeds. So I put buckwheat in between. And maybe we won't have to mow in between this first year. But if for some reason the weeds do get out of hand, we can fit our mower through here real nicely, leaving that 6-foot gap. And then, because the hybrid willow are really only going to do so much this year, over here on the edge, we've got about 8 feet where I put Egyptian wheat. So I broadcast Egyptian wheat going up and down this 8-foot swath right here between the fence line and this poultry netting fence right here. And so that should also create some screening that will serve our purposes for this hunting year. Long term, what is the plan? Long term, the plan is we will put probably 2 staggered rows of trees, most likely conifers, something that's gonna provide screening all year round, not gonna drop its leaves, but that's going to take a long time to establish, and we're really going to have to do some prep work to protect it from getting browsed by the deer. The hybrid willow, of course, could get some browsed by the deer. It's not their favorite thing to browse, but definitely going to be susceptible. So what we've done is we put this poultry netting up. We don't have a solar fencer, so it's not charged. So we're kind of just sort of crossing our fingers that the deer aren't going to be too interested in checking them out during the growing season. And by the time the deer aren't interested in checking them out, maybe they've reached a 7-foot height. We'll see how it goes. Over here where we ran out of poultry netting, we went a little further and we did 3 rolls of tape. So that should mess with the deer's eyes. We've got one tall one here, one that's a foot or 2 shorter here, and also one that's a foot or 2 shorter here. Messes with the deer's depth perception, and they're not as likely to jump it. We might also put tree tubes on the hybrid willows themselves. So again, just punched a hole in the baler belt. As you can see right here, punched a hole in. I put some peat moss on top here, expecting a rain in about a few days. So hopefully these guys will do okay. And then the baler belt is susceptible to wind. Sometimes can get blown off track. So we just took a bunch of logs and spaced them out on the baler belt to keep it down. And that's the plan. So again, summarizing, what do we have going on here? We have big open field, ag field. This is where we walk in from, and the deer can totally see us during the fall when the leaves are off, because this goes up into somewhat of an open woods, and if they're anywhere near this food plot, they're going to see us. They're not going to feel safe in this food plot during the daylight. They don't come out until dark. We need them to come out sooner than that. So we're doing the screening here, and hopefully that solves the problem. Yeah, so good stuff. All right, you can follow me on my Facebook page. You can also follow my website and get in touch with me, www.theparcelplanner.com. All right, thanks for following along, guys.